What's cracking, faithful? It's your boy, the Dark Knight. I'm actually was going to do this whole spiel, but honestly, I'm lightweight, not in the road. But what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? I'm not, I shouldn't even bother asking. Ain't nobody fucking legendary today. Although I'm a little bit better that we got Chase Young, and of course we're going to get into that. But what's up, y'all? It's your boy, the Dark Knight. We're going to go ahead and get into that Niners Bengals game, maybe do a little bit of a bye-week review with our special guest that we have waiting in the green room. But before we do all that, we, of course, got to remind everybody to help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link will be available in the description of this video or podcast. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Join Jason and I this Friday, NFR Weekly News Wrap. We will be going live at 6 p.m. here on the West Coast. Get yourself a drink. Friday is our drinking show. Jason and I usually have a drink of the week that we like to drink on. See everywhere you can subscribe to Niner Faithful Radio. Go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Well, actually, there is no pregame or postgame show this week, or halftime show. And of course, listen to the end of the show to get your special 10% or 20% coupon code off of For the Faithful, By the Faithful Season 3 apparel. Ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, let's get the show cracking.
Weiss has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana, touchdown, John Taylor.
What's cracking, fellow Dark Knight?
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You know what, bro? If you can keep that voice up for the whole show, I'll call you Batman.
Because you know I'm Batman.
Oh wow. Anyway, obviously everybody who's watching this show, we know what's up. Who do we got? David McNiner. What's good, brother? What's good? Oh, we got plenty of comments to get to. But of course we've got to do it. David's on the show.
Same old sorry ass man. So long. Same old.
Anyway, so we'll go through the chat. East Coast Red and Gold podcast. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Swear it to me.
Hey, you Randy.
Oh, I get it. Swear to me. So I heard a Christopher Nolan story. Tony, what's up? Thank you for joining. I heard a real quick Christopher Nolan story that apparently this couple was in LA and they bumped into this boyfriend bumped into Christopher Nolan, and his wife was a huge Batman fanatic. And he goes, hold on, let me find my wife. She's a huge Batman fanatic. She would love to meet you. And in his Batman voice, right out of cue, he just goes, "Where is she?" And it was the most epic, oh my God, this is fucking Batman moment ever. Anyway, let me see. Hey, Tony, what's good? A little bit of time before I go trick-or-treating with the kids. Roberto, we appreciate any time you're on here and taking away from the kids, brother. Faithful.
Thank you, Roberto. You're a true faithful.
Randy. Hi, Tony. Hola, Tony. Okay, everybody say what's up to each other in the chat. All right, fellow Dark Knight. My initial feelings after that game was I was pissed. I was pissed because I said, how dare you put a performance like that with, like, when I first said this, I was literally by a man who was one was wearing a Joe Montana jersey, one was wearing a Roddy Lott jersey, and the other was wearing a Jerry jersey, right? Which we figure player-wise, that's our Mount Rushmore, right? Jerry, Joe, Ronnie. And then you had Bill Walsh, and that's our Mount Rushmore. And how dare we put on a performance like that in Alumni Week, and we want to call ourselves the San Francisco 49ers. My second emotion was confusion. And I'll let you give your thoughts and everything here in a second, but I don't get it. How could we watch this offense? But like, forget last year, okay? Like we're gonna take last year out the picture. How can we watch this offense drop 30, 35, 42? Like with ease. Like rolling out of bed and dropping 30 points. And we score 17. 17 3 weeks in a row. I'll chalk up Cleveland. That's a damn good defense. Jim Schwartz. Hey, ownage is ownage, right? But fellow Dark Knight, I don't know. What are your feelings for coming out of that game, particularly?
Just that game, it seems to be the turnovers. There was 3 interceptions. Penalties are a problem too. You know, if you can't get it off the field, then you don't have an opportunity to get your offense on the field. If your offense is on the field and they continue to have penalties as well, the 2 biggest penalties in our game were what? Offensive, delay of game. And then the next big penalty was defensive PIs. So at this point, we have to figure out to win games how to be disciplined.
And that's the frustrating part about it. Is like, look, props like Joe Burrow was Fuego. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback performance like that, bro. Like, what was it, 19, 21 in a row?
He had 20 in a row, I believe.
And look, the pass rush wasn't 2019, but he was under pressure in this game. Sure, it wasn't the dominant pass rush we know, but I mean, you can't say we didn't pressure him when we got 3 sacks.
Not every team has a Chase on their team, and not every team we will face this year do we have to worry about a electrifying player like him. But there's someone else. And if it's not a wide receiver, it's a linebacker, or it's a running back, or it's a quarterback. For this game in particular, it was Burrow to Chase, and that's what we did the entire game was Chase.
And this is the thing that was frustrating most as somebody who paid to be there, along with every other game this season. The thing that was frustrating me is, bro, I know this. At some point, I knew where they were going to go the ball. It's either going to Mixon, right? And why is Dre Greenlaw on the field? At this point, like, I love him. I went on record after Cleveland and said, look, missing Dre Greenlaw was huge. All that, like, that's a Dre Greenlaw game. He's about to smoke. We all know he gets damn near 4 personal foul penalties every game. Like, he was a very Ronnie Lott, like, hey, sometimes you got to take a 15-yarder. That's Dre Greenlaw. But he's clearly hurt, bro. And at this point, it's starting to be a detriment to the team. Like I understand the next step, the next place, there's going to be a drop-off. But at some point, is that drop-off worse than what we're seeing if Dre Greenlaw can't be what Dre Greenlaw is?
It seems like something was said to him. He kept on having the big penalties out of bounds, tackling people and being aggressive. and it seems like he's calmed down a little bit. And I think because of him calming down, he aggravated an injury or became injured. And now the last injury was hamstring. Now he's nursing a shoulder injury.
I saw what happened. It's when Mason trucked him. That's exactly what he hurt his shoulder. Because right when he was laying on the ground, I saw him going like this.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know if it was right or left, but like I saw him grabbing his shoulder, and I said, "Oh fuck, there goes a week worth of prayer." You know what I'm saying? Look, we know there's two names we're going to end up seeing on the injury report every week: Charvarius Ward and Dre Greenlaw. Those names are going to be on the injury report every week. Now, fine, they play, but at some point in time, like Jason shared a meme that is exactly how I felt. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Batman who grins. My bad, y'all. I'm horrible at keeping up with the chat. This is why Jason normally does it.
The chat is popping.
But the chat is popping today. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming up. So anyway, my whole thing is I've seen these players. I was talking to somebody about this in the smoking section. I said, bro, how much of this roster was there in Philly last year? Right? Including Javon Hargrave. Let's be real. Like how much of this roster was in Philly? When that game started off, I don't know about you, but I didn't feel that we were going to lose that ball game. So how is essentially the same defense, which we assumed got better by adding a Javon Hargrave? I know that Steve Wilkes has some defenders out there. And look, they're not going to fire him during the season. Who the fuck are we going to bring on? Everybody keeps on being Kosaric. If Kosaric wanted to be a D coordinator, he would no longer be here because somebody else would have hired him as their defensive coordinator. Kosaric has said, I don't want to be a D coordinator. So who are you going to bring in? Oh, and you're going to install a brand new defense in the middle of the season and not have zero growing pains and all of a sudden become the number one defense in the league and carry a team to the Super Bowl? Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So Steve Wilkes is going to be. Now, how do you feel about him apparently, Kyle, saying, I think Kyle's essentially going to go in the office and say, you're moving to the sideline. Do you think that's going to make a difference?
Steve Wilkes coming from the booth to the field is only going to matter if he can become emotionally, not necessarily a cheerleader, but if he has some kind of relationship with the team. If he's just there, standing there, it's not going to work. I don't understand why we're getting torn up right now. But you know, if you don't understand, you don't understand. It's one of those things. This guy's comfortable in the booth, and he's been there before, where he's been able to articulate and let people understand what he needs to happen in different areas. So whoever's receiving the calls on the sidelines isn't delivering the message. I would have to say, give it a shot if it turns out to be something. But for me, I don't want to be that I told you so, but or Flashpoint Batman, but I definitely think we should have went after Fangio. If we were going to switch schemes, then you redo it all together. For you to say, come on in and run this scheme, but I want you to run this scheme that's already there. I just want you to coach it. You're not giving someone an opportunity to coach. You're saying, okay, you're going to have the title, and that's it. You know, if you're the defensive coordinator, you should have the choices of switching things. And every GM wants to pick their coach. Every head coach wants to pick their GM so they don't feel like they're going to get fired. The GM and head coach have to be working in tandem. Then they want to build the roster together. There's this formula that they want to go together with. And if they're not building it together, and that's why the head coach and general manager want to pick their defensive coordinator, because the defensive coordinator wants to say, I want these players for my scheme. It all comes down to scheme. And at this point, I don't think our defense is so bad. I think it's the penalties on both sides of the field. I think
It's shooting ourselves in the foot.
We're making adjustments to the quarterbacks we're playing. We knew Kirk Cousins could throw, so we stood back a little bit. Maybe we give the wide receiver and quarterback too much space, and there's not enough speed to keep up with the Bengals.
And I mean, Fred Warner said we were basically stripping it down, going to defense, and it felt like the game plan this week was we're going to let our playmakers make plays. We're going to let Fred Warner make plays. We're going to let Nick Bosa do Nick Bosa things. But what we didn't anticipate is, and it seemed like what we didn't anticipate was, yeah, but I said this on the pregame show, like they have enough talent that if we beat ourselves, it's going to get ugly. And what happened? Like we do this segment, turning point of the game, and I'll let you give yours and everything, but I'm going to speak about mine. It's literally the interception. What the fuck was that? Like the interception that literally happened pretty much right in front of me. I was sitting in the little concourse right behind there, right behind that end zone. That it was such a what the fuck moment that for a second I was like, did I see what I like? Did he just pick it off? Like it almost like seemed like nah, like I was tripping, you know? Like it was such a what was that? And like it almost had to see like somebody heard a whistle, like, you know. And that was clearly the choice because we were going in. We were going to tie that ball game. The faithful, because the faithful brought it. The faithful brought it on Sunday. Crowd noise, people leaving early. That was not the problem Sunday. We were going to tie that ball game, you know, and whatever. We wouldn't have stopped them. And when they made it 14-7, I said this might be whatever teams got the ball last game. Because it was clear that our defense's issues weren't going to be fixed, right? We essentially go back and watch the tape last 3 weeks, right? Like I think generally the same amount of issues. So it was going to be a whatever team had the ball last. And the issues with Brock that I'm not understanding is he was lights out. Then all of a sudden, what the fuck? You know, that looked like the quarterback that lined up and tried to hand the ball off the wrong way in the preseason. You know, that didn't look like a quarterback that hadn't lost a start and led the Niners, you know, to the NFC Championship game. Is he concussed? I saw the video. He does hit his head. He does grab the back of his head. Could that be a reaction of you're scared after you just got a concussion?
When you hit your head, it doesn't just mean you have a concussion. Just because you hit your head, sometimes it's the right spot. You know, it's about nerve points and sensitive spots. Sometimes it's just the right thud,
Sometimes shit hurts.
Sometimes you just grab your head because, just like you said, it's a reaction. For me, the turning point. For me, the turning point was definitely the 3 interceptions, but I don't know exactly what time of the game that exactly happened. But for me, the most pinnacle point, we were still in it until that fumble was taken away from us.
Fumble pick.
Yes.
At the stadium, they called it an interception.
Yes.
When they flashed it on the screen, they called it an interception. I've heard some people say fumble. Let's just say that turnover. Yeah. Okay. I could give you that.
He had it in his hand. Then he makes a football move. He moves it to the side of his hip, and that's when it gets jarred loose. To me, that was clear. That was a clear turnover. At that point, the game could have switched really, really dramatically, really fast. To me, it seems like the NFL is trying to teach the Niners a lesson right now. We've come out.
Something.
We maybe it was the T-shirt with Dallas, but I'm not sure. I can't tell you exactly what it is. But we are a better team than what we're putting on the field. But the same team that we're facing is putting up the same type of penalties, the same type of that we put up 17 points. We're holding the team to 19, 20 points. This last game, we went up to 30-something points. Okay, but that's because our offense had 3 picks. Our offense doesn't always have 3 picks. Did Purdy have a concussion prior to coming into the game? Maybe. Should he have started the game? I really don't think he should have. But everybody was afraid to put Sam Darnold in there and see what he could do. He at least had a deeper – we would have been able to possibly open up the offense. When you only give somebody 2 practices, you had a short week. The Bengals had a bye week.
That's what's kidding me. That's what's getting me. So you mean to tell me, and I'm literally watching a video with my girl about how they put together the NFL schedule. I'll send it to you, Brad. It's actually a pretty interesting video. The actual logistics of, trying to fit these 256, now 272 games into 18 weeks, in 32 different cities. And now you don't have like the benefit of some of the teams. Like you always have the Niners and Raiders, similarly close together, and Jets and Giants. Now you don't have that. So their teams are more spread out now. Anyway, I just like, you mean to tell me you have to have 3 teams coming off a bye week? You can't tell me that didn't have. Cincinnati clearly looked like a team who was coming out of a bye week. We looked like a team that had played essentially half a season.
You can't just make it fair and go 8 weeks. Everybody gets a bye.
What bothers me, and I want to get somebody else's opinion on this. Why not have every year you have your Thursday night, right? Every team has at least one Thursday night game. Niners this year we have 2. Only other team that has 2 Thursday night games is the Super Bowl champions. Why not make that off a team's bye? You put both teams, right? You say whatever team plays it. So, for example, week 3. I'm not saying that I prefer the bye this late, but I'm just saying, using this as an example. Week 3, you just would have had the Giants and Niners be the team on the bye week. Week 4, the Niners, the Niners and Giants. Week 2 would have been our bye week. Simple. First 2 weeks you don't play Thursday except the Super Bowl, the season opener. The Super Bowl champions, right? And after the first 2 weeks, each team that's going to play that Thursday night gets the bye week. That way you don't have to play within 4 days. You're healthy. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why they don't do this. I don't understand.
There's definitely that scenario or solution that you can work out. There's also, why don't we just go to week 8, week 9? Everybody gets a bye week at that moment. Everybody can get healthy. You do the trade line that way. Just give everybody a break. Make it the All-Star week or something. Make it where it's during the World Series, so everybody can stop watching the football for a week and watch the World Series. Or when basketball starts, something where it's relatable for people to be able to take a deep breath and take a sigh of relief and allow these players who are putting a lot on the line every week. But it's about betting, it's about money, and they won't do that because they want to keep everybody rolling.
You know how much money the NFL legitimately would lose if they had no football Sunday? We're probably talking about billions of dollars, legitimately, which I understand. Like, to be fair, that is a shit ton of money.
So
It's
right now,
probably about the amount of money is money you and I probably couldn't imagine, like even possibly visualize in our mind how many $100 bills that is.
it's either we don't have the right calculations where we either need more football teams in the league or we need to have less where we can make this happen, because there should be no reason that the 49ers are playing 4 teams this year on a bye. I'm not crying about it, but I'm making an obvious a statement. It doesn't seem to be fair, just because what we are both,
especially when you factor in 2 things. After these 2-game road trips, the Niners have always lost the game after. And it's the home game. Number 1. Number 2, so you go on the road, you play Cleveland. Okay. Now, fine, maybe the Niners didn't want to do the East Coast trip. I'm not necessarily arguing about flying back, especially with the extra day, it being a Monday night game. But okay, while Minnesota is chilling, literally doing nothing but watching Niner film, we traveled to Minnesota, a place we haven't won. Big shout out to you, bro, for bringing this stat. I haven't won since it was 92, right? I know it was Steve.
Yeah.
It was 92. We have not won in Minnesota since 1992. Bro, I still for some reason I use I forget the little app, Fun for Mobile or whatever. A little app I use to get my Niner ringtones, right? Well, when you type in 49ers, that touchdown that Brett Favre beat us, like last second, it was 2009. I know because my baby mama was pregnant. It was 2009. That comes up. Like I steal that image. To me, I will go to my grave saying he was fucking out of bounds. But anyway, the frustrating thing about the fumble to me was if 2 people who have been watching football their whole lives, I don't know essentially when you started watching, but definitely majority of your life you've been watching football, right?
96, 97 season when I started watching.
Cool. Yeah. Probably about that time's when I start remembering. I know I used to go to my grandpa's house and, Anyway, I remember certain things. Like I remember like a year, like it was like 93 or something. We recording a Chargers preseason game. But anyway, I remember after we watched after the Niners won the Super Bowl in 94, me and my boy Daniel took my mom's hairspray and we wrote SF 49ers rule on the side of our front door, panel, the plastic little panel part, and when the rain would hit it, you could see it and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, so I remember stuff like that. But anyway, if I can't explain what a catch is, that's a fucking issue, bro. And if clearly we're on a disconnect from the NFL on what a catch is, a catch and a fumble, as fans, if we're disconnected from the sport and on what an essential part of the sport is, especially with, let's be real, it's a passing league now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
In a passing league, if you can't have 2 people who have been watching sport the most of their life say, yeah, that's definitely a catch and a fumble, because I agree with you. I said turnover, let's fucking go, Because the thing that's frustrating about this is when they scored right after that pick, then it felt a little like it doesn't matter how many points we score, we're just not going to stop them, Like the Niners could score every drive from here on out. It's not going to matter because Cincinnati's just going to match our score.
They found the weakness. They found the weakness in our defense, and they kept exploiting it in the past. We couldn't get to them in the rush. Most of it was getting close. When they did try to run, they were beating Bosa on the side.
So defeated. Veronica.
Bosa would try to, he would try to get the shoestring tackles, and he was so defeated because he knew nobody was behind him. I think our biggest problem, and maybe somebody's already said this, our biggest problem is we didn't sign Jimmy Ward back. That's what this defense is missing.
You know what I said all offseason? You know what the fuck I said all offseason? Why do we have $41 million in cap space and the man who's been on the team on this defense longer than any other person in the organization is chilling in Houston, talent getting wasted in a garbage year? Jimmy Ward might be Trent Baalke's best draft pick. I mean, yeah, you would say most Aldon Smith. Well, I don't know how much really the Niners get out of him. I don't know. Jimmy Ward kind of seemed to last till, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's Aldon? Where's Jimmy Ward? So, yes. Because you wanted Deshaun Gibson. And the frustrating thing about this is I love Gip. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a solid safety, But at the end of the day, like, you're going to let Jimmy Ward go for Deshaun Gibson? Career years are called career years for a reason. They only happen once a career. Right?
Jimmy Ward was in the hospital a lot. He got the nickname Hospital Ward. I could see why they didn't want to bring him back, especially with an attitude. Just because you've been here for a long time.
We did have an attitude.
What have you done for us? You sat on the bench for a long, long time. So then I could see him getting into the argument with Kyle last year, and Kyle told him, you can ride the bench. Oh, you can play special teams. The guy was a dog. He definitely was out there a lot. He was out there playing with the cast on his arm. I don't know what else you can ask for him, a player. Go out there, you got an arm, broken hand, and you're still playing.
If you look back at some of the hardest hits since Patrick Willis left, a lot of them in Niner history, from that year, kind of a lot of them were done by Jimmy Ward. And how did he, break his arm and things like that? Maybe because he was throwing his body around, So anyway, so we'll get into our special guest, Josh Putnam, is going to come on next week, and we're gonna talk a lot of things during the bye week on how we fix it, because the trade lines, and we'll transition here to the trade deadline now. This is clearly the team we got, right? No corner help. We traded for Chase Young, which we'll get to, but besides that, no corner help. This is the team we got. Minus, maybe some, practice squad signings, etc. But so the answers have to come within. You know what fired me up the most this week? Fred Warner's comments. I love that Fred seemed a little Fred is very never attitudey. You feel me? I feel the Niners generally have some pretty positive players. But I felt that attitude when they said, do you still believe in Brock Purdy? He goes, what am I supposed to do? Say no? And I loved that he said that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to say, bro? No, I don't believe in my quarterback. No, Brock's not the problem. And then, he calmed down. He checked himself. Hey, I'm going to let my emotions get in a better of me, whatever, and put on the professionalism. You feel me? But if you listen to Fred, the closest he came to criticize him of Brock was, yeah, sure, not turn the ball over, fine. Basically is what he said. He ripped the defense pretty much a new asshole. What is that? Leadership. What is that? accountability. Because what also did he say? Starts with me. I gotta look myself in the mirror. He didn't say, and he didn't call out names. He didn't say, hey, Charvarius Ward's got to not hold. You know, he said penalties. He said those. I don't know how you felt about it, but
I can excuse it all. But what I can't excuse is not wrapping up. It's safe. You tackle with both arms. You don't just, launch yourself at a player like you're a torpedo and try to hit him with your shoulder and try to, I don't know what you're doing. You're trying to knock them backwards. They're not going to go down like that. You're trying to go after the ball. There's different ways to go after the ball. You are just you're not bullying them at that point. You're making a lunge at them to make a highlight video. And it's not a video that we want to see because they're bouncing off of you and there's no one behind you. We need people who can tackle, not people who want to take, glory shots. And that's Jason, what it is.
Jason said this best. We try to hit, not tackle. Right? Would you agree with that? We try to hit, 100%. Not tackle. We try to hit, not tackle. The problem is the Niners are the big bad bullies. Right? Like, we know this, right? Nobody questions our physicality. Like fucking that player from Detroit, I don't even Sauce Gardner-Johnson. Like, nigga, shut up. You don't really want none of Debo, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real, bruh. Like I hate to see black on black violence and black men fighting like that. That actually breaks my heart. Truthfully, deep down inside. But my nigga, you don't want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. Like, you don't want the physicality with this team. We've proven it. And we've proven it when it mattered the most. What if Detroit really done? Cool, y'all off to a hard start. That's fine. You know what? Y'all might have to come through the field of jeans. Some of those comments, some people might regret.
Detroit looked horrible yesterday against the Raiders.
Let's be real.
The Raiders had a good opportunity several times in that game to win it.
But where are they? Raiders be Raidering.
The Raiders were 3-4. They were 3-4 before the game. And then you look at the Detroit Lions against the Ravens. They can't play against physical teams. The Raiders, say what you want about the Raiders, they have a physical defense. And the Ravens are just like the Raiders. They're AFC team, and the Detroit Lions they're not going to last. They have a soft schedule for right now. Good luck for them. Good luck to them.
You know what? What I would say to Detroit is, hey, it's real easy to be physical in September and October. Come be physical in January after 18 weeks.
Change your helmet as much as you want. It's not going to help you.
But, my girl asked me something interesting. And she goes, babe, if the worst teams are essentially drafting the best players, right? You have the number one overall pick. You should essentially get the best player in the draft. And she understands that, hey, you mess up, players mess up, things happen. But essentially, you're supposed to be getting the best players. Why is it, these teams suck year after year after year? It's essentially what she said. And I said, ultimately, it's, that's why coaches get fired, things like that. But it probably goes down to ownership, and things like that. And so Lions be lining. So you know what? You come to Levi's, you punch us in the mouth, you out physical us, and you beat us. I'll tip my cap. I'll give you all that respect. But if we play y'all, it's going to be when all the chips are on the table. And Trent Williams, ankle fucked up and everything, you think he's playing in January and going to be soft on you? Or you think he's about to rip off your throat because he didn't know how many of these he can take? You know what I'm saying? And he's trying to get that ring. What did Trent say when he came here? He goes, I'm trying to get in the Niners Ring of Honor. Like, I'm not worried about the Hall. I just want to get in the Niners Ring of Honor. He goes, I want to finish my career here. Like, Trent wants a ring. So you think you're going to stop number 71? Like Debo, George Kittle? Like, So, getting into Chase Young, your thoughts? Grab the mic, brother. I need
Love it. I really love it. Chase Young is a bookend. He'll be on the other side of the field. Bosa will be on the other end. This gives our opportunity for the defense to take a breath of fresh air, not to calm down or get too complacent or comfortable. But at this point, with two people coming off the edge, lightning fast, the 2 seconds the quarterback, 2.4 seconds the quarterback has is going to have to come out very quick. Because if you don't, not every team has two good tackles, a right and a left. So who are you going to cover? And then we have two guys in the middle, and now we have a rotation in the middle. We can actually change people up. At this point, you could say Drake Jackson might go in the middle. You could say there's a lot of players that could get rotated in. Randy Gregory could get rotated into the middle, especially if we're having a hard time or we need people to take breaths, and breaks. But for our corners, everybody wanted us to get a corner. Sure, that would have helped. We did try to get corners. We tried several different places, but the price was too high. The Niners were not willing to buy. But with the addition of the defensive end,
today.
the
I know.
addition,
Go ahead.
the addition is going to allow the corners that we have and players that we already have on the team, like Womack, to come back, and we can make adjustments there. But it's going to give those seconds just that much more time, right? I don't care if you're holding. You won't be holding because we'll be sacking the quarterback.
I mean, it's two things to me. A, it's before bye week, so you got time to integrate him. Right. It's a very risk because if he walks to free agency, we're just going to maybe even get a third, for him. So we'll just get essentially the same pick. John Lynch is, primo. John Lynch, Adam Peters, Niners front office. Sprinkle me, man. So John Lynch is doing his thing. And what fires me up most about this is, look, Chase Young, the player, might not be what we think he's going to be. The ESPN reporter for the Commanders came out today and said not only did he tear his ACL, but on the same injury, he tore his patella. So the reason we got him for a third was because there's questions about his long-term durability. So, the player, boom, boom. A comp pick and $500,000. I got that all day, every day. Who wants them? Who wants them? I got fucking comp picks and $500,000 all day, every day. So,
with your point though, he might have had an injury, and it might have even been back to 2021 when he was injured.
Yeah,
but he's still producing today. He's either 4 or Bosa's 4, but it's 4 and 5 now. We have the top edge rushers in the league, 4 and 5.
So one stat is funny. You really kind of actually want to know. You know who leads the NFL in quarterback hits?
Tell me.
Nick Bosa. Any sack you see is because of Nick Bosa. So, it's look, anybody who questions why we signed number 97, you don't remember the last 97 we drafted, and literally the year we drafted him, we went to the fucking Super Bowl. Some guy named Bryant Young that's in the Ring of Honor and Hall of Fame and Niners Hall of Fame. I think number 3 all time in NFL sacks. Nick Bosa is about to be number 3 or 4 all time in Niner sack. I ain't going fucking 4 and 12 again to draft a Nick Bosa, motherfucker. I'm just gonna sign the one we already got. Then you add Chase Young with Gregory, who's already been. Look, Gregory is is A plus at this point, right? Like, can we agree he's an A plus for what we got him for? And then we get that type of production.
I like both additions. Gregory just needs a little bit more time, and with him being able to be a rotational piece now, he'll be able to come in and clean up or add to the mix. We just added again a bookend.
Look, I mean, yeah, nickel. If I had to say the number one position that cost the Niners having a championship this year, it might now be left guard, considering Aaron Banks and Trent. Like, we don't know what's up with Trent, and Aaron Banks could miss a couple weeks with turf toe. Yeah, the blind side of a quarterback is going to kind of be an issue.
Feliciano can play.
There you go. But the position I believe it's going to cost the Niners a championship if we don't win it this year is going to be nickel corner. Like, crazy how he comes up with plays, but bro, I don't care how many fumbles you cause, you're literally giving up points. Doesn't matter because we literally didn't score off of either turnover we got yesterday. So what does that do? Just essentially just put a Band-Aid on a gaping wound.
We've had too many penalties. Last game was what, 15, 20?
You know what frustrates me? I get frustrated more about their one penalty than I do our penalties. Because you can't tell me, with my eyes, I personally saw 3 times that Nick Bosa was literally getting from behind, getting grabbed like this as he's reaching out to grab the quarterback. Okay, I saw that happen 3 times. You can't tell me in the however many offensive plays you could have caught not one holding on Nick Bosa. Not one. Your penalty that you decide to call is essentially a penalty that didn't matter. All it did was save Brock from having a pick. Or I'm sorry, no, that was a different play. My bad. Like that wasn't rough. Like, whatever. If that happened to the Niners, I'd be pissed. We would be talking about it right now. So was that a roughing the passer, in my opinion? No. And that's their only one penalty. Only one. Whole game, nobody held Nick Bosa. Nobody. Defensive player of the year. You literally start your offensive game plan with number 97. That's how every offensive coordinator starts every offensive meeting when a team's playing the Niners. Is talking about number 97. And he did not get held one time. I don't believe that, Brian. I don't. Especially when I saw it personally.
I don't believe what the refs have been doing this year is completely right, and it's obvious, and it's in multiple games. You go to the Eagles game just 2 weeks ago against the Dolphins, same exact thing. Every game, every play, you can call holding or you can call something if you look hard enough. But you're allowing one team to play with no limitations, and you're calling everything against the opposing team. There's definitely something that's happened. The Niners need to get on the right side of the refs again, or it's going to be a very long season for us.
Yeah. Because whatever he could be in the future is not necessarily a concern of me. Bebop, I agree with you most. Like, let's be real. As somebody who played offensive line, you can call holding on every play.
Every play.
So, and that's clearly what they're doing. It's clearly like, sure, do we hold a lot? Do we do all this? Yeah, we're a physical fucking football team. What do we try to do? Grab you and toss you on the ground, right? Like, what does George Kittle try to do every play? Bury somebody 9 feet underground, right? Like, that's literally George Kittle's game plan. Every blocking play. So, like, it's almost like the way we play is now playing against us.
They are not playing to support each other. The defensive line is supposed to take care of the tackles, the quarterback, and the back end of the defense is supposed to clean up everything. But because they're playing so far back, because they don't have
Which doesn't make sense when the quarterback is clearly getting the ball out faster than our D line can come home. Right? Like that's clearly so.
If you can see it and I can see it, then why isn't there being an adjustment in the middle of the game?
I don't get it, bro. Look, I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to pretend that I watch film. I'm not going to pretend that I even understand at a college level, maybe even high school level, like defensive schemes, right? You know, I know a very basic level of football as far as scheme level. But if I can see it, bro, like you said, if I can see it, like, and so I agree with you with Steve Wilkes only runs to the booth if it improves the communication. Because I don't think Steve Wilkes is going to fist bump or chest bump Fred Warner coming off the field. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's the type of guy he is. And I'm okay with that. Don't be fake. You know what I'm saying? What I'm scared of is if this defense starts to say, hey, look, we know we're that D, right? Like this defense knows this. They're not stupid. What's the one thing that's and they say, look, what's the one thing that's changed here? You know, ultimately, let me ask you this. 2017, we hire Robert Saleh, right? He's our D coordinator. He leaves. D'Amico, obviously, clear choice to move back, to move from linebacker coach to DC. Is this a failure on Kyle's part to not have a natural replacement for D'Amico on staff?
Right now, when you look at the team and what they've been doing, they've been getting rich off of comp picks and they've been letting it go to their heads. You're getting comp picks off of coaches because of the color of their skin, and you're getting comp picks off of players coming to the team for 1 year and leaving, and we're banking on not signing them the next year. So we have a bunch of third-round comp picks. What are we doing with third-round comp picks? We don't play anybody that's a third-rounder. We only draft running backs. We let wide receivers that are third rounds go. We draft kickers in the third round, and everybody gets mad about it. We bench tight ends, put them on IR in the third round. Offensive linemen we don't play, but we build from the draft from the bottom up, right? Because we expect to be in the bottom of the draft every year. So this year we went and got tackles, and we got players undrafted and in the 7th round that are potentially going to be starting on this team and be here long term, because the Niners feel more comfortable with some of these guys that have been looked over so many times. They are comfortable with them because they've looked at them so much and they knew that other people wouldn't be looking at them. But right now, with the way the defense is going, the way the team is going, for your question, they should have always had somebody in place. And they shouldn't be just allowing these guys just to leave to go somewhere else when they can pay them. The coach's salary is not under the salary cap.
Yeah.
They can pay these guys to stick around. You know, we got a defensive line coach who wants to stay being a defensive line coach because he likes the air in the Bay Area. It's not because he wants to go and be a head coach somewhere else or a defensive coach. He's staying here because he likes what he's got here. So you're telling me he's not happy with what he's getting paid? He could truly go somewhere else and get paid more money. But for whatever reason, he's happy. So we get these other coaches on the staff that are happy and want to win a Super Bowl and not just bail out on us after a year or 2 years. When Saleh was first year, 2017, 2018, we didn't think we had a good coach. You know, he came from the Seahawks. We didn't think we had a good coach. 2019, everything starts clicking. Everybody's healthy. Everybody forgets 2018, there was an injury. 2017, we didn't have a quarterback. So 2019 comes around and we start clicking. We let him go.
Bro, I can't even start with you, though.
What happens after that? We let him go. Then we go ahead and get another we get another, coach and bring him up, and then we let him go become a head coach somewhere else. So is the Niners trying to have like a head coaching Super Bowl against each other or something somewhere? Because I thought we were trying to make the Niners better, not the rest of the league.
I mean, yeah. It's all good, brother. It's all good, brother. I agree with you. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Batman is a real superhero. You look at
yeah, that's why I was like I'm joking. All right, you know what? I agree with you, Brian. Ultimately, I think we clean this up. I think we fix this. Felt better. I believe 2020 it was 4-4. I have I don't even know where my phone is. I have it somewhere. But I believe it was like basically, I mean, we're basically around what we normally are. I think that maybe
Beto's funny. The chat is popping, everybody. Please make sure to like.
Like, hey, it goes down in the DM. Hey, anyway, man, y'all should see the comments we don't put on screen. Anyway, fucking had somebody asked Jason if he could get his dick sucked by a Cry Girls fan. Like, whoa, all right.
Holy bananas, Batman.
Holy bananas. At that note, I think show's starting to derail a little bit, and I think wifey's home. Brian,
Well,
final thoughts?
Thanks for having me on. Stay faithful, everybody. If you ever need me, you know how to send out the bat signal. I'll be here. And with that, guys, I'm going to jump out. I'm going to go trick-or-treating.
Plug your social, all that. Wifey, plug your social channel, all that.
Oh, my name's Bryant Culp, the true Batman, but you can find me on Bryant Culp's channel as well. And just type it in. Come check me out. I'm on the weekends usually doing something fun. Appreciate y'all. I'm on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook.
When's Jason and I's turn for the Friday show?
I will look at the schedule and I will privately message you. I think it's coming up here soon. So it's
probably next week.
Yeah, it's either this Friday. It could be this Friday.
Right.
We'll double check.
I'll holler at Jason too. All right, brother. I appreciate you coming on, bro. Yeah.
All right.
Be safe. All right, we appreciate the Robin of Batmans. Appreciate Brian coming on the show and everything. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and dip up out of here. Everybody, help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link is in the description of the video or podcast. Make sure on NFR app at 6 p.m. here on the West Coast. See everywhere you can subscribe to check out NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Your coupon code for 20% off of For the Faithful by the Faithful Season 3 apparel is regroup. And that's what we have to do. All right, everybody. Happy Halloween. Please be safe. Check your candy. All right. I shall. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Please remember, the San Francisco 49ers don't always lose a game, but when we do, still stay faithful, my friends. Go Niners. Wait, we got 2 more comments. Wait, not invited to what? Beto messaged me. Great show. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate you. Tell Bryant he's the Robin of Batmans. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later.
Rice has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana. Touchdown, John Taylor.
See ya. Last comments. Wow, prepared us savage. All right, y'all. Happy Halloween.